Hello there, this is Denzin, and today I'm looking at this. This is my Yavin4 table build for Star Wars Legion, or any other sci-fi rule set you want to use your Star Wars figures for. This has been a bit of a labour of love for a month or so of 3D printing. This is a 6x4 board in my rather cramped little gaming room. And what we got here is my Yavin4 temple. Everything is very jungle themed, obviously, for this one. And there's a bit of a shout out here to a couple of different creators where I've found the files for these. On Cults, I found Tellus Wargames, and they do very large sections, such as these temple sections here. I haven't glued any of this, so these can just be removed, so you can take this away. So you've got these rather large platformed areas that you can create with steps up. And obviously you can create a temple complex as big as you wish with these various ruins, so you can module anywhere you want. Turbo laser emplacement there. What's great about these sections here is they can be used for anything fantasy orientated as well. So Frostgrave Ghost Archipelago, for example, or any other tropical themed or pulpy sort of action adventure in South America, that sort of thing. What I really like about this is they really lean into Star Wars Battlefront. So if you've played the video game and you ran around Yavin, you'll spot very similar sections from that video game, which you can recreate on the tabletop, which I think is brilliant. It's just what I was after. Because obviously Yavin, you just see the giant temple and you're inside it. You don't really go around Yavin much, do you? Bit in Andor, for example, but in Battlefront, you can run around and explore, so why not create something a bit more like that? So you don't do the interior of a temple, really, because you don't really get to see the jungle, do you? So this gives us a bit of best of both worlds here. So if you've got to capture the turbo laser emplacement, for example, take that down. I also got from them, from Tellus, the X-Wing as well. Another 3D print, along with the platform. Really reasonably priced for the files, and they printed really easily. I had no problems with any of those. Also on the board we have STL files from David Sheff Models, which is on can easily be found. They do minis as well, so a bit different, but they also do sections like this, again straight from Battlefront. This is the command post here. They do the wall sections, which are modular. As you can see, they clip together quite easily. They've even got the chap up here on lookout duty. Poor sap that he is. A ruined crash site, which you can do in sections. A bit of a TIE fighter sort of feel to the ruins of the sections there, you can see. Really nice. And you can just rearrange them any way you want, can't you, really? David Sheff also do the comms tower here, the smaller temple, and the trees. And the trees are really nice because they're modular. So these sections can be built up. You can take the branches off. You can make the tree as high as you want, and or as short as you want. You can have it stubby, like the one over here. As you can see, the branches slot in. Or with that, what's it called, open click system. All of the David Sheff stuff clicks together with that. They do a lot of scatter terrain as well. Really nice with the little jungle leaves on them. Little wall sections. Great bit of scatter there for Yavin. They also do a little sort of hover tank with a little camp set up around that as well. Sort of grav tank. But when you combine the two sets from two different creators, you know, one's a bit chunkier than the other, but I don't think that matters. It depends what you want. You know, you could just print off loads and loads of trees and do an entire jungle section, maybe add the crash ship to it. But I wanted something that was a bit more as if you're attacking the temple itself, the HQ, and so the rebels are legging it. Another thing that David Sheff do are minis. So these are obviously Star Wars Legion official figures. There's some David Sheff minis, and you might notice straight away, if you're a fan of action movies, we have a rebel Dutch, and his team from a certain movie from the 80s, but as rebels. And really nicely, that's what got me straight into the David Chef minis. I thought, oh, these are great, got to get them. I love the fact that Blaine is actually a sort of a Zeb with his Gatling laser there. I'm not the best painter in the world, but you got Billy there. Also, the jungle stands, the bases, and I went and themed my official Legion minis with the same bases. So they all blended in nicely. They also do Imperials as well. So here are the Death Troopers, which I've done in dark green, on speeders. The Darth Maul skimmer to speeder, whizzing around. My favourite is this chap over here, hidden behind a tree, because he's actually sniping away there, leaning against a tree, standing on his bike. It's a beautiful figure. And so are the rest of the squad. One of them is the female Anna from a certain film in the 80s as well, but as an Imperial. If you wanted to have a female Death Trooper, there she is. They also do Stormtroopers in tropical gear, so they've got their raincoats on for the rainforest, and an alternative little walker there. You can do that with the typical 2 legs, or you can do a little spider walker, which I thought would be a bit better for the Empire, a bit more evil looking. So yeah, tropical troops. So if you want to replace your normal Stormtroopers with tropical troopers, there they are. So again, certain things are Tellus. These are Tellus wargames. The lampposts are David Chef. So combine the two, bit of scatter around your temple, works brilliantly. So this is my 6x4 Yavin4 table. If you're not playing Star Wars on it, as I say, I think it'd be absolutely fine for any other game that's set in a tropical world. I would say the David Chef stuff has more Star Wars paraphernalia attached to it. So for example, if I go to the wall sections over here, there are sort of ammo boxes and crates and so on attached. But certain sections of wall don't. So you could always just print off the ones that don't if you want to do a fantasy version. Absolutely great. So I've really loved this. I thought, I'm going to do a Star Wars planet. Let's do Yavin. And now it's done, I can move on to another planet. I'll probably go on to a different game completely, to be honest, and do something else. But before I go back to Star Wars. But maybe Endor. Or is that another... Is it too much wood? You can get fallen trees from David Chef as well. So if you want to have, just with Endor, that just reminded me. So with jungle trees, you can have these lying down, create barricades with them, and block line of sight. But I think they're good because they add a lot of height. This one here, for example, is about 16 inches high. A lot of height to your game. You might knock them over as you lean over the table. So good for the centerpiece maybe, or a side of the table where you're not going to be knocking it over quite so much. And you might want to glue the wall sections together if you're prone to just knocking things down, because you will get a domino effect if you just knock one. So it depends what you want, isn't it? I want to store these away nicely so they will not be glued. But there's Yavin4. I'll see you in Endor one day. But that's the end of my little video, just to show off this lovely little bit of terrain, and a shout out to some creators out there that you might not be aware of. So thanks for watching. I'll see you again.